Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Aspiring Adult Podcast. My name is Alexandra Hayek, and I'm your host. Here with me today is my friend Marie-Emilie. Marie-Emilie and I have known each other since,
Forever.
exactly since the fourth grade. Fourth grade? Yeah. Um, yeah. Marie-Emilie, can you please introduce yourself?
Yes, of course. Hello, everyone. Oh my God, this is so exciting because I hear you say the things that I listen to the podcast and it's live. um, my name is Marie-Emilie. I have known Alex for a long time now. We're getting older. I live in Montreal. I am no longer a student since a week ago. I did a bachelor's of mechanical engineering with a minor in history. And I'm just living life now. That's it.
So, Marie-Emilie, my first question for you is, how did you decide that you wanted to do mechanical engineering? And um, like, why was your reasoning behind choosing that? And is that still the case? Like, is it the same reason, would you say, that you stayed?
Mhm. Um, so this is like for me, there's many aspects that went into me deciding to do this specific thing. Um, I think that like when I was younger, you're asked all the time, like, oh, what do you want to be when you grow up? No, no, no. And like, it's such a hard question, especially as a kid, because like y- you don't know what's going on. And you just like see jobs that look cool and you only want to do the cool ones. So for a long time, I wanted to be a fighter jet pilot. I was like convinced I was going to do this. I didn't actually think about it. And I was like, I don't really want to be in the army or doing war. Like, that's just, I'm a fragile person. I can't handle that. So then I was like, so can I do to be a part of the awesomeness? Because the reason why I wanted to do it, because I thought it was awesome. Like, just you're going fast. It's like the same reason as why people want to like drive fast cars. So I was like, oh, I can build it. So I was like, let me be an engineer. And then at the same time, I was also at school doing robotics. That was like my thing in high school. I did a shit ton of robotics. Like every day I was just going and like building this robot that was basically half broken the entire time. Like, but I had just so much fun doing it. And then I was like, I need to continue this. And then I need to this needs to be my life. And so I went into mechanical engineering after I had done also a nerd camp. Let's not forget I did nerd camp when I was 17 years old.
Yes, the straw hat.
Yes, the grass hat. Grass hat. So to give context to that, I went to like a camp, like a summer camp for a month in Indiana, and I lived in Texas. And I went with Celine. We were roommates, and we were in a university, and like
Celine is one of our friends from high school, by the way. She was
yeah,
also in Girl Scouts.
yes, we've known her for also years. Um, and we in the morning we went to class and like did like a project. And in the afternoon we had fun, and I slept like 10 hours for the entire month. Like it was so much fun. But that was when I was like, okay, I want to do the theoretical part of the engineering. And then I went to school and did all the college thing, college applications, whatever, made a decision of where to go, went to Montreal, went to Concordia in Montreal. And then I started doing engineering in school. Not as fun. Definitely not as fun. It sucked. It's like really like the expectations versus reality kind of situation. Like I expected it. I expected to building robots here, left and right and center. Like, you know, no. I had some fun classes. Let's like I have to be honest, I had some fun classes. I had other classes that made me reconsider if I wanted to even be in school. And then now I'm like done with school, and there's the big question of whatever actually applying it. And like, because school is just school, like it's just like you make a decision to, and you can go to school to learn anything you want. That doesn't mean you're actually going to do something about it afterwards.
Yeah.
Now the big question is, what am I going to do about it? What
Mm.
am I going to do about it?
Do you still want to like make those planes that are fighter jet planes? Or would you, are you more open to like other stuff? Like what's your plan with that?
So I actually had internships during my degree, and both of them I worked in aerospace. Both one was Bombardier, which is private jets, complicated. Like it morally for me, it was complicated to work there because
Oh, okay.
of
Interesting.
the environmental impact. Like at home, I'm trying to like lead a better life for the environment, and then like my bread and butter is private jets, and like that doesn't sit right with me. But it was an internship and it was great experience. Like it's fine. And then the second one was Pratt and Whitney, which is engines of planes in general. So private jets, but also big planes and also helicopters and also fighter like military planes. Um, so to answer the question, if I want to do aerospace, you think it's awesome because they're flying, like it's rocket science. Boring as hell. It's boring as hell because it's so old and everyone is so old there and everyone's so like white and men and old and like stuck in their ways, and I'm not sure that I would want to.
Mm.
Like maybe for me it's the main thing is the team. If the team is young and is fun and like dynamic, all good. But if you're just surrounded by people who are just closed-minded, it's not worth it.
Yeah, I think that that plays a huge part in how you feel about like it's definitely like you want to be able to do something that you love, but it's like if you love the thing that you're doing, but you hate the people around it, like it's not gonna be a good time.
No, absolutely not. And I think the opposite could also be said. Like, if you love the people that you're doing, but you hate the thing that you're working on, it could actually become a good time. Because for me, at the end of the day, it's the people, it's not the thing that I'm doing so much.
And I feel like that goes for like a lot of things in life, you know? Like it's so stupid, but the easiest example is like school. Like school can be a really bad time. Like
Yeah,
a horrible time. But if you have like good friends, it's like they make that horrible. Or even like when you go out to a bar, like the bar could be the worst place you've ever been to.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of the times any situation is about the people around you. So
It's
I,
about the company.
yeah.
Like what, like our example of high school. Like it wasn't the best, but I have never laughed so much in my life. Like it was a consistent every single day, every single morning, every single afternoon. I had at least one like pissing myself laughter. And I don't think I've ever had that since.
Dude, I think about that a lot. Like I'm like even in college I was like I have not like obviously I had great moments with like especially with like Jasmine, like shout out Jasmine, she's hilarious.
Hmm.
Um but I did not like laugh as much as I did in high school because I was like what are we even doing? Like also everything to us was a joke because
Yes,
no matter what
literally. Like we could not take anything seriously. Impossible. It's just impossible for us.
good times. All right.
Oh, the best times, the best times. Did we
Uh,
peak in high school? Maybe.
Sweet. All right. So my next question for you, Marie-Emilie, is so I want to know if there's anyone or anything that inspires you in your day-to-day life.
Um, when it comes to like the engineering aspect and everything, like I think it's undeniable to say that I'm really influenced by my dad. My dad himself is also an engineer. He's been an engineer his entire life. Um, Thanks to him, we have security, freedom, whatever. God bless him. Um, and like he has net like he the entirety of the time that I've been alive, he's worked at two different companies. Like he hasn't been jumping around different companies, working a bunch of different things. And like I think maybe there was something nice about the stability that I saw of it. And he was also such a great father figure, you know, like he took really great care of my mother and I. And like he seemed like he was having a good time. Like I just admired him a lot. I thought that he was smart and he was like he could go into a conversation with random people and he could be well spoken and like people could look up to what he was saying. And I guess I admired that a lot. Like like being able to use your brain well, I guess. That's something that's important. And then I guess it other things like life things like there isn't necessarily one particular person. There's of everyone surrounding me, I admire a certain aspect of their life. There's also things that I don't necessarily agree with, possibly depends on the person, but like everyone I'm surrounded by and that I choose to surround myself with, like I admire the ways that they do certain things and I try to learn from them. Every person like does something really well. They might not know it, but we're all doing at least one thing really well. And it could be about so many different things. It could be about like, oh, you're super organized, oh, you're super good with people and super kind. You have or like, oh, you take really good care of yourself, like mentally and physically, um like there's all these different aspects of things that like there's you do one good thing well. I think everyone does one good thing well.
I love that you say that because I think a lot of the times, like, we ourselves play up our weaknesses,
Hmm.
our strengths, and I think like it's a good way to like turning to other people or like having other people be able to point those out is super like helpful and in so many aspects. Okay, so my next question for you is looking back, um, what is the thing that has surprised you the most about your 20s so far? And how did younger Marie-Emilie look at herself and imagine herself, and how is that similar or different to how you are now?
I think this is my like most favorite question of like the whole podcast because it's so messed up. It's so
You
messed up.
wanna know why I asked that question? It's because I think about it daily.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
I love that you said it's messed up. Oh my God.
Because like it forces you to kind of like reflect on your child self and like how you expected the world to be. And like I don't know if this is necessarily true for everyone, but like and then how life literally crushed it. um so that's why it's messed up. But so I mean, when I was younger, I I guess I could say that like I am where I expected to be. Like I didn't do anything crazy where I'm like living in Southeast Asia under with like a bunch of people and where I'm just surfing all day long. Like and like I own a coffee shop. Like no, that's not what I did. I did something very traditional. I went to university and I finished my degree. That's the basic. That's the basic, like that's the backbone. What happened during that's like what's like so surprising. Um what I least expected was my in my 20s, and like what's been most surprising is like the self-awareness that like happens. For me it's really has been the self-awareness because like I think it some of it has to do with me starting therapy and like talking about things and like going through things and then seeing patterns, seeing of like my tendencies and my habits, or like how things affect me and whatever and whatnot. But this also has to do with like being more open and communicative with my friends and like being able to share stuff. Um, but when I compare myself today to who I was, even at the end of high school, like when I was 18, I like I was basically just a person living in a body and doing and being like just doing stuff. There was no real self-awareness, I feel like. And then I went into university and it kind of like once I like had that click happen, it just hit me like a truck kind of being just so aware of how I'm feeling, um, how like consequences of like my actions and like the longer term consequences. Cause sometimes you do things and like it's only months down the line that you're like, oh, that did something. That's because of that. And when you're younger, you don't have enough like, and I'm only like 5 years older than that. So like, I'm afraid of like, what is it going to be when I'm 30?
Yeah.
Like, that's terrifying. And so it's definitely like that has been like the most surprising. And that goes into like me, like what did I expect as a kid being for my 20s? Like I expected this. I expected to move out. I expected to be um doing and finishing my degree, um having friends, having a pretty fun life. Like I don't feel like I have a bad life. I'm very grateful of everything and all the people around me. But it's the specifics that like it's like, whoa, like that happened. Like those are the people. Like the whole mix is weird. Everything's weird. Life is weird.
I love that you said that what most surprised you is like the self-awareness. And I love that you said that you like did like therapy and whatever, because I think that that's so awesome. I also went to therapy, and I also feel like the self-awareness is like crazy once you go.
Hmm.
You think you don't have a lot of agency over, first of all, like how you feel and what you do. And I feel like going and like figuring that out, it's really eye-opening.
Yeah.
And yeah, in some ways, I think it made me less funny, but that's another topic.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm not crazy.
Yeah. Like I like for me and like for you too. Like I in high school, I was a comedic genius. Like
She was. She was. She says me, but no, she was like the funniest person in our whole grade.
and now, like, yeah, I make people laugh. Like, I still make people laugh. Like, when I meet new people, I make them laugh. But I don't get the same. Maybe it's just like in high school, we were also like so in tune with each other. Like, we were always, always all together. And we were like on the same wavelength with not much going on in our heads. Like, we were dumb as hell. And now it's like you're only seeing certain people and you don't see them as often. So everyone has their own things going on, own humor. Like we all had the same thing going on. So like we were all like together doing it. And now like, fuck, I'm just not as funny.
I think it's also I'm just like not as I mean, I'm hard on myself, but I'm not as self-deprecating.
Hmm.
I try not to be.
That's
So that's why
great.
half of my jokes are gone.
Yeah, I can't make fun of that anymore.
And then we have to be politically correct.
Yeah, there's so much.
Oh.
Yeah, I can't
Um,
make any fucking jokes anymore.
um, that's gonna make us sound like we bully people.
No, we didn't. We were
Bullied ourselves.
nice. We bullied ourselves and we bullied each other, and
But
it
in
was
way,
it's just so funny, just too good.
the self-awareness thing is very accurate, I would say.
It's
Um,
huge.
it's yeah, you
It
don't
changes your life. For in my opinion, it's changed my life.
I think in your 20s, like that self-awareness makes you also just be more yourself in a way and
Yeah.
go back to like things that you actually liked.
Oh, for sure, 100%. And one of those things I think what I'm recently trying to do, especially now that I have free time, because in the first time of 5 years I have actual free time, is healing or like respecting your inner child.
Mm.
That's been kind of a thing that's been going on in my mind recently of like oh, as because now I have this self-awareness that I didn't have as a kid, but now that I have it, that inner child is still there. Like you can satisfy it and you can like give it what it wants to like be happier overall. It makes such a difference when like you allow yourself to do things that just like a little kid would want to do. You as a little kid would want to do.
Okay, so now coming back to the present,
Yeah.
I want to ask you, is there something that you're struggling with at the moment? Like, what's something that you're struggling with either in your professional life or your personal life? Um, yeah.
Yeah. I'm perfect, so I don't have any problems. I
Oh, amazing,
yeah,
amazing.
end of the podcast. Thank you everybody. Thanks for tuning in. See you later.
Next question.
um, no, not true. Uh, this semester in particular, it being my last semester of university after 5 years, like it hit me like a truck, and I didn't expect it to hit me so much like a truck, but it was the feeling of losing control because of school ending. I hated school because everyone does, it sucks. But I also loved it because it gave me routine, stability, comfort. Like, you don't have to ask questions like, what am I doing tomorrow? It's like, bitch, sit down, do your work. Like, that's what you're doing tomorrow. What am I doing next year? You're doing the same shit, but different class. Now it's like, I'm done. There's nothing. There's no rails. It's not like at the bowling alley where you can bring up the little thingy so like your ball doesn't fall off. Like that they took the cards off. That's up to you. And you're just falling every time in the gutters or whatever it's fucking called. and um and so what this has caused me, this loss of control, and what I'm struggling with the most right now is, am I making the right decisions? And because I have to make a bunch of decisions right now, and it's overwhelming, and there's so many options, and it's like, how do I determine what's a good decision and what's a bad decision? Everything is taken away. There's a really bad decision unless you want to like, completely throw your life to shit, but like I'm not trying to do that.
Having no right answer is both freeing and terrifying. You're constantly asking yourself, okay, how do I want to play this? And you've never had to ask yourself that before, really. Some people say it's like that's the beauty of life or whatever, but
Yeah.
whatever that means.
Yeah, and it is like you're not alone, you're surrounded by people, everything you do connect, you're interconnected with everybody, and like it affects everything. Like it's huge, it's just overwhelming. In a beautiful way, maybe, question mark, I don't know.
I was trying to be like philosophical and like trying to put a positive spin on this. I guess I like it, maybe. Sorry.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, my answer's no.
I do love life also, like let's be clear, I love life, I'm so grateful that I have all this.
So my next question for you, Marie-Emilie, is there a piece of pop culture or media um that has impacted you in your life?
This one was the hardest question for me. Um, and my answer is actually very recent because when you first started this podcast, I hadn't seen or heard this yet. So um, I didn't have an answer. But then I went to the Olivia Rodrigo concert and it changed my life.
Love it.
I texted you afterwards and I told you about it, but like I did not expect to cry at a concert. Like you had told me before when you had gone to like other concerts. I went to Taylor Swift with you when I saw you cry. And like I just didn't understand that. Like I just didn't get it. Like I was like, this is cool. I like this concert. I like this artist. Awesome music. That's it. I but then I went to Olivia Rodrigo. And this is when, with all the feelings that I've been talking about, like my feeling lost, feeling overwhelmed, and whatever. And it was just so therapeutic. I was just like, if you know Olivia Rodrigo, you know that she has a lot of songs. She's just yelling. She's just like, it's just like a teenage girl. Not, she's not a teenage girl, but it's like, it does that, like teenage girl
Feeling,
yelling in
yeah.
your room, like singing at the top of your lungs. And I went with my friends, and that was so fun. And there was, I cried when it was a driver's license because it like forced me kind of like to like reflect somehow, because I remember listening to Olivia Rodrigo the first time years ago when she came out, like at the beginning of university, when I was in university. And it was like, oh my God, I'm here. I'm like seeing this live, and it's been so long now, and I'm at the end of my degree. Like time has passed, but I'm enjoying this so much. And then I don't know if you know her albums or her songs.
Yeah,
There
I've heard
was,
both of them.
I'm a big fan. There was a song Teenage Dream, and she like had a whole screen, and she had just pictures of herself as a child. And the song is like, um, I have the lyrics here. It's like
Please
the
sing.
begin. Are you asking me to sing?
Yes.
When am I gonna stop being wise beyond my years and just start being wise? I don't think I can continue, but it's just like this song is her reflecting on herself, and like how people uh, perceive her, and how she perceives herself, and how she like kind of wants it to be more herself, be that genuine self. It's like, I think that's why it's called Teenage Dream. It's like exactly what we've been talking about of like the when you're in your 20s, like you kind of just like have that self-reflection more, and that like bit eye-openingness, and that's like her realizing that, and like, oh my God, oh my God, sobbed during that song. That was with my roommate, another friend of ours, Jade, and a friend from Montreal here. And they just looked at me, and they're like, you okay, girl? You good?
No, I'm not.
I'm not good. Turn around. So yeah, I would say it was that.
I love that because I have always said concerts are my happy place. And I'm so glad that you like had that experience. I feel like everyone should have that experience where like really truly a concert like hits them. Okay, so my next question for you, Marie-Emilie, is what are you looking forward to? Like what are you most excited about? Either like short term or long term.
I don't want to answer long term because, as I've said, I can't anticipate what the fuck is going on or what. So
Agreed.
like, I can't really say I'm looking forward to anything. I'm looking forward to finding a job and hopefully not being depressed because of it. That is what I'm looking forward to. And I'm looking forward to looking back at this moment right now and being like, oh, girly, you figured it out. It's fine. You're fine. You made the decisions and they were good ones. You like what you did. That's what I'm looking forward to. But what I'm actually looking forward to, like legitimately, is that I'm going on vacation this summer. I'm
Yes.
I am like taking the time for myself. Like after this degree where I had no breaks because I did internships, like even my summers were taken. Like if I wasn't working at a full-time job, I was still in school during the summer. So I haven't been on vacation, like a real long vacation, since we graduated high school. So I'm excited for that.
All right, Marie-Emilie, we're at the last portion.
Oh my God, the
You
one we've
listen,
been waiting for.
and if you as a fan of the podcast, you know that my last question is, what do you want to rant about? What is your rant today, Marie-Emilie?
So this one's hard because I actually have three.
Oh, amazing.
I, I didn't know which one to pick.
No,
So,
let's do all of them.
okay, let me start with the first one. This is just like my personal, like little thing. They're all personal little things. Um, I saw this recently. I saw a video on TikTok, or not TikTok, but Instagram, which is basically how everyone is getting any piece of information recently. But um, the girl was saying that we need to continue asking people small favors that could be seen as small inconveniences. Like you should be We should continue asking for people for drives to the airport. I need to move. Could you help me do move some boxes? Do you have a cup of sugar like your neighbor? Like you can have some sugar that I can ask. Like, and what she was explaining is that like in our world today, it's like because of the capitalism and like and consumerism and everything, it's like, well, you don't have to ask these favors and these inconveniences. You could just pay for it and do it yourself. But then that causes so much self isolation because if you ask someone for a favor, then they feel like they can now trust you to ask you for a favor. And that, that creates a bond between people, which we're like slowly losing even more and more. Like it's just causing everyone to be more and more lonely for no reason. Like it's a small inconvenience, but like, is it really that big of a deal? Like, you'll recover financially, your time will recover, and you've spent time with someone. You've done a favor. You can end your day feeling like, oh, I did something good. And for the other person who received it, you can be like, oh, I have a community. I have people I can rely on. I have people that I can trust. I'm not all alone in this huge fucking world.
No, I definitely agree with that. I was gonna add, um, I think part of it is because we now it's great that we're putting up boundaries, but sometimes we start to take it too far and it's
Hmm.
like, no, I won't take you to the airport because that crosses my boundaries and I'm just like too emotionally unavailable at the moment to take to the like people don't want to do anything that makes them slightly uncomfortable to like be able to help somebody and like grow their relationship because now in their mind that other person is like crossing a boundary, if that makes
Yeah. You're so right. Like, absolutely. It's like, well, maybe you're going to be really surprised that you had a great time with them, like, because you were in the car chatting with them, catching up. Like, you doing something allows you to experience more things, and like, you don't know what it's going to be like. And so you're limiting yourself because of these boundaries that we have actual boundaries, and then we're actually putting them like a bit too far. Like, that's not actually your boundary. You're just protecting yourself from ever getting close to that boundary, which I don't think it's not a great thing we're doing.
Yeah, I agree. And that's what like leads to, like this hyper individualistic mindset, you know?
So that's one of my rants.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Second thing is that same idea of like, because of hyper capitalism and consumerism and whatever, we don't allow ourselves to take days off or to be lazy or to be less than the hyper productive and efficient person we could be. And what this does has a huge impact on our environment, on like, because in our society we're like geared to like being super productive and efficient and making more. It's like really, it causes, it leads to overproduction. It leads to creating more things that have an impact on the environment. So actually being lazy sometimes and taking a day off and being more chill is actually good for the environment. So if ever you need an excuse to why you need to be lazy today and not do anything, just say you're doing it for the trees. You're doing it for us. You're taking one for the team. Be lazy. That's the moral of the story. So that was my second rant. My third rant,
I'm excited.
and this was my initial idea, and that the other two things popped up, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. I actually want to talk about that.
Okay, amazing. Let's hear it.
Recently, since for the past year, I've been reading Harry Potter.
Okay.
I started reading Harry Potter because I had never read it before as a child. And like making this, it took me years. Like I have been wanting to read Harry Potter for years, but I knew that it was like such a commitment
Mm,
because you have to read 7 books to
yeah.
finish the thing. And they're not short books. Like the first 3 are kind of short-ish, but then it just gets fucking long. And I don't read that much. I'm not like a huge reader. I'm not a person who can read a book in a day. So me deciding I'm going to read Harry Potter for me was like, okay, for the next like 2 years, I'm committed to only reading Harry Potter. I'm not reading anything else. And that was like a hard decision for me to make because I was like, but like I should be reading other things that are like not for children and like that are smart and important and whatever. Then I went like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't care. And I'm having a grand old time. It's so
Love it.
fun.
I love it.
And so this goes back to what I was saying about like healing your inner child, like doing the things that like you as a kid would love to do. Just do it. Like read the fan fiction, read the Divergent series if you want to. Read whatever the fuck you want. No one cares.
Every time somebody mentions books, we come back to fan fiction. People are gonna think this is just like me trying to convert people into like reading fan fiction.
I have something to say. And I'm actually kind of mad. This is actually the real rant. Here, we found
Okay,
the real rant.
period. Go off. Go off.
I I'm mad at you. I'm mad at the other girls who read fan fiction because when I was growing up, and we were growing up together, I didn't know this existed. I learned about fan fiction in university. I didn't get the joys of reading smut and whatever and like having my sexual awakening while reading fan fiction. No, I didn't get that. So fuck you guys. I'm mad. I didn't get to read after. So now after just like some shitty movie, I didn't get, I would have loved it. But no, no one wanted to talk about it because everyone was embarrassed. I would have been happy. Why? Fuck you guys.
I have tears in my eye. Um, okay. I will say the wow, I'm speechless. Uh, this is the best rant I think I've gotten so far. Um, so I want to issue a formal apology to you.
Thank you.
Moment. I'm sorry I didn't tell you about fan fiction. I don't even remember what kind of fan fiction I was reading, to be honest. I think I blocked it out. I definitely did not read after.
Okay.
I didn't even know that that was like a fan fiction until the movies came out.
Okay.
So that is not my fault. Um yeah, I'm so sorry I didn't tell you about fan fiction. I don't even know anybody that like I knew read it at the same time that I did. Because I feel like I started a little bit later. Like I definitely was like early high school, late middle school, and I didn't read it for that long. Wait,
Yeah.
wait, when did you actually like did you not even know it was a thing?
No. I learned about this in university, which is too
Seriously?
late. Like it's just too late.
Wow. I had completely forgotten about it by the point I got to university until I started watching Criminal Minds and I
Yeah.
spent way too much time on TikTok and they were like, yeah, like people write fan fictions. I was like, people still do that?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Um,
So yeah, I'm annoyed because I wish I had that. I think I would have read more books if I knew about fan fiction.
okay. See,
You have caused my illiteracy. You, not just you, but you people who read fan fiction and didn't share about it.
okay, see, actually you make a great point though, because I feel like fan fiction is like obviously not any kind of high quality literature that you could get into. But it's like at least if you're reading, you're doing something. All right, Marie-Emilie, I think we're gonna have to wrap this up. But thank you so much for coming on the podcast and doing this with me.
Oh my
Is
God, I
there
had so
anything you
much
want to add?
fun. I think I'm good. I think I spoke my truth. I
Okay.
really appreciate you letting me come to this. This has been so much fun. I'm so excited to see the final result and like listen to it. Maybe I don't know if I'll listen to it. It's kind of weird listening to yourself. Like I already know what I said.
Great. Okay, well, everyone, thank you so much for listening. You can follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and you can watch now on YouTube. I'm trying to get the YouTube views up. Um,
Oh,
and then uh please follow me on Aspiring Adult Podcast Instagram. And
yeah. Let's,
thank you so much. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
bye, everybody.